Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with Lloyd Strayhorn with Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. And as you know, I always have special guests on. I have a distinguished guest that's going to be coming on in just a few moments. And it's an honor and a pleasure for me to have this brother on because I was actually honored to be at his home. But anyway, let me start off with the cosmic forecast. The sun is still in Capricorn. So if you're saying, why is it still in Capricorn? Because that's how it rolls. Okay. It takes about 20 something days to change signs. It starts late December up until about January the 20th, all depending on the time and the location and the year of the person's birth on that day. Right now, though, the moon is in the fixed sign of Taurus and it goes into Gemini at 8:08 p.m. tonight. So in a couple of hours, it's a 7 universal month, a 9 universal week, a 1 universal day. And I gotta say, please like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, for those of you, okay, let me do this right quick here a second. For those of you who take the time to tell people to like, share, and subscribe, because I forget. You know what I'm saying? I'll get used to it, but that's not really my purpose of trying to get those kind of numbers. The numbers I like to give are the numbers that I talk about through numerology, it's metaphysical leanings and things like that. So, however, without further ado, I'm about to bring on my very special guest, Mr. Dominec Holmes. Hey, buddy, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Lloyd. How you doing, brother?
Fine, fine. This for me is an honor and a pleasure. Because if anybody's ever followed your site, brother, they know you a brother that don't play. In fact, I told somebody that if you don't want to go, if you can't stand the heat, don't come in your kitchen. And you're nice. You're a nice guy, but you keep it real. One of the things that impressed me was in February, March of 2020, when they shut down the whole country, you took it upon yourself to reach out to all of the people who were responders, who was putting themselves on the line about this virus that just came on. And you were doing it for gratis. You was doing it out of the love of that. That impressed me because to me, you got to be strong to give. Anybody can take. You know what I'm saying? But can you give? And can you give selflessly? So that right there, my respect for you went up even more in terms of doing that because a lot of people don't. But now, one thing about you, you are an astrologer, you are a spiritual advisor, you are a sorcerer, which I think is nice, and a healer. So we're going to save those two for the back end. And we want people to encourage them to call in, get the birthdays. Because if you've ever seen this brother in action, you know he is serious. He is for real, right out of the city of Detroit. Okay. Question, Dominic. What led you down this path, buddy?
Well, I was born in a regular style household. My paternal grandparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. My maternal grandparents were Baptists. My grandfather was a Mason. But, they had spiritual power in our family. It's not something that we hid. People had spiritual power and we weren't allowed to play with playing cards or things like that because people can deal you your fate. But they kept it on the hush hush. So I was 5, my father got killed, and I had a premonition before he was killed.
Really?
My mother went into really bad substance abuse, and long story short, by the time I was 16, I was locked up for murder. Going to do 10 to 30 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and the legal system wasn't working for me, but I knew magic was real. I knew it was real, so I start tapping into my power. In the prisons. And
so when you start learning astrology and whatnot, did you learn that while you were incarcerated too?
I got real good when I was incarcerated. I knew my sign before I knew my first name was Dominec. My middle name is
Really?
I knew I was Sagittarius. My family calls me Jetta, and that's what everybody in the streets know me as, Jetta, And before I knew my name was Dominec, I knew I was a Sagittarius because my mom horoscope to us out our horoscopes to us out of the newspaper. And my grandma's older sister, she was, you know, with the hidden figures and stuff. And
Yeah.
military mastermind calculator, and her name was Virginia Kane, and she had Ouija boards and all that stuff at her house. You know?
Yeah, I remember Ouija boards. I've been in people's homes with Ouija boards. That's no joke either. People be scoffing at it, but that's no joke. Ouija boards.
Yeah, so you know, and people are gonna, oh, this stuff is evil, but everything that people they're tools. Whether it's a tarot card, whether it's numerology, whether it's astrology chart, whether you make you a magic wand, all these things are tools to channel your own power.
Why do you think, Dominic, that what we do, all of a sudden they want to label evil, especially in the Christian and religious community? Why do you think that is?
Well, if I got something that can stop you from stepping your foot on my neck, even though you got guns and supposed to be superior in all the power, you would tell me it's evil too and punish me for using it too.
I feel you.
The only way I can control you in this reality is by making you fear and hate your own power. We're the oldest people on the planet.
Amen. Amen on that one.
It's nobody who has more ancient ancestors or more ancestors than us. By virtue of the slave trade, we have ancestors from Native Americans, European, everywhere, Asian, India. All of us have all these different branches of ancestors. And our white brothers and sisters got that too. But before they indoctrinated Africa, they ran rampant through Europe and destroyed the Norse culture, destroyed the Celtic culture, you know, murdered the Druids. We have to understand as the human collective, the importance of the people in power, staying in power, is to detach you and make you detest your spirituality.
And speaking of spirituality, you are a spiritual healer. What does that mean to somebody just hearing it from you?
Well, people may try to associate it with spookiness and things like that, but Lloyd, you know, I don't do no rituals.
I know how you roll. Trust me.
If I say it, it's gonna happen. If I touch you, you're gonna be good. You know, and I can do that in person or remotely. You know, but the fact is, you know, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. If you look at physics, you have one atom of nitrogen. It doesn't mean that because you got one atom of nitrogen, that 1,000 atoms of nitrogen is any different than a single one. You have all the components of that atom if you are nitrogen. So if a Christian or a Muslim or anybody in the Abrahamic religion believes their Bible, it says you're created in God's image and likeness. To have the likeness of God, you have the same characteristics, same potential.
That's, yeah, I feel you on that one.
So you can heal.
And yet there'll be people that'll probably fight you on it or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's because of lack of knowledge and just being kept in a state of ignorance.
That's fine. But, you know, Jesus said it, not me. If you got the faith of a mustard seed, you can command the mountain into the sea.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've often...
If you have that faith, if you have faith, you can do all these things I do and more. That's right in their Bible. So don't argue with me about it. Argue with Jesus.
You know, it's like when people will sometimes, Dominic, tell me about numbers are bad, I go right to the Old Testament, the fourth book of Moses, called the Book of Numbers. Now, Lloyd Strayhorn did not write that, okay? Yeah, God had struck Moses on the second day of the second month to name the armies by their name and their post. And going further into the fourth book of Moses, is all the 12 tribes of Israel are given their specific numbers. Everything is all spelled out. So surely Lloyd Strayhorn couldn't have written the Bible just to satisfy that part. And as I've also told people too, name me a war since Cain killed Abel in the Bible, since they go in there, fought in the name of the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. There's no war in human history named in the war of fought in the name of a zodiac sign or a number. you know, and then people seem to have problems with what I do when I explain it like that. So I don't get it.
Well, it's not meant for us to get. You have a choice. You're either going to be powerful or you're going to be powerless. If you choose to be powerless, that's your choice. It's not going to affect my quality of life or yours. That's their choice. But for those who are here trying to learn about their nature, which is divine, because if you're part of the universe, if you're made in God's image and likeness, if you go to the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the book of coming forth by day, it says there is no part of me that is not of the gods. All the divinity is within you. You look at the book of Hermes Trismegistus, the emerald tablets, as above, so below. That which is found in the heavens is found in man. Everything in the universe is contained in us.
Well, see, Dominic, that's why you my man, okay? Because we're on the same page like that. No matter how you do it, no matter what book you go to, there's always signs that tell us that we are gods within ourselves. It's just that we have to acknowledge that. Healing. Now, that's interesting. What kind of healing? Emotional, spiritual? And how did you get into healing?
Well, as you develop your power and grow, different things start to manifest. That's what I'll tell you. You know, as you raise your vibrations, you'll be able to alter people's vibrations that are you know, at the same frequency or the lower frequency than you.
Understood.
Everything is energy and vibrations. So if you have emotional trauma that happened when you were 5, if you get into something with your girlfriend when you're 29 that reminds you of what happened to you when you were 5 or what you witnessed when you 5, that's like pulling the scab off, and that's why you blow up and go off on the deep end over next to nothing.
I got you.
Because a little piece of your soul is stuck in that time. You know, it in reality, and quantum physics prove there's no such thing as time and space. These are things created by humanity to so-called make it convenient, but in all actuality, they hold our reality together.
Can I ask you something that's interesting? There's this new thing coming out now with Mark Zuckerberg about metaverse. So what is that about? An alternate reality. What is that about, Dominic?
First and foremost, there's no such thing as an alternate reality. The universe is one universe.
That's what I thought the last time I checked.
Mark Zuckerberg isn't the creator of the metaverse. He's trying to monopolize the idea of a metaverse. A metaverse is beyond the verse that you currently live in. And right now that we live in this reality that we perceive right now, there's parallel realities. You can go to the CIA documents. They've been doing remote viewing, which is nothing but astral projection. You can go to different levels of existence. They talk about this in Buddhism. They talk about it in Hinduism, talk about it in ancient Egypt. You know, they talk about it all over the world. And a metaverse is just a digital version of reality that you can experience. People think that the metaverse is just going to be something like Facebook and things like that, but the metaverse is going to create opportunities that people never thought could happen. You know, the potential of the metaverse is to destroy the exploitative culture. And that's why Mark Zuckerberg is trying to monopolize the idea and limit people's understanding of what it is. Because if I can set up a virtual college that you can go to through your phone or through a face goggle, a virtual reality goggle, you can go in here and learn, and Harvard can't steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from you. Because
that's deep.
You have a doctor in here teaching you virtually how to do surgery, how to do computer programming, arguing legal lectures before a virtual Supreme Court that has artificial intelligence that can go through thousands and thousands of cases at one time.
Yes, you talked about that. That's very interesting, that concept and idea you came up with. Because now I understand they're into what is called digital reality. Is that all a part of the metaverse concept?
Virtual reality. You have virtual reality with the goggles, and then you have augmented reality. Now, if you remember Iron Man, how he punched up the thing on his arm, And a
Yes.
digital image come up, that's augmented
Yes.
reality. Now, augmented reality will make it so if you have a car and your car engine goes bad and you pull up your phone, which is adapted to augmented reality and connected to your car, it pulls up a 3D image, a graphic of your engine. You can spin it around with your hand and it's projected up there. And then it'll identify the problem. And you push the button and it go order the part that you need. And the people bring the part right to you. It's incorporating the digital reality with the physical reality. If you go shopping in the metaverse, and this is important because it can stop a lot of COVID infections in this particular scenario. You go shopping in Walmart, but I wouldn't use Walmart. I would connect the Black farmers or Latino farmers, urban farmers to the metaverse. You go shop at their farm store and pay for it in cryptocurrency, and they deliver it to your house, or a drone delivers it to your house. This is the potential of the metaverse, not just playing some dumb games on Facebook like they want you to believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that they were just something to keep you like in front of like Call for Duty or whatever these games are that people play all day. I thought that's what that was about, you know?
It is, if you allow yourself to be that simple-minded and get stuck in that understanding of what it is. But I promise you, there's people that are really, working to bring about the full potential of the metaverse and make it accessible to all people and really do some things to end poverty and
what about
healthcare to people.
What about people, Dominic? What about people, Dominic, that's kind of like that are on meds that affect their mental state, where sometimes they schizophrenia, stuff like that? Would that affect people in the metaverse? People who can sometimes not discern the real world versus much less the meta world. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's obvious it's going to have some good and some bad. And it's some people more good than bad. But if you're a paraplegic and you want to walk on the beach, you have an opportunity to walk on the beach in virtual reality and feel the breeze, see the waves, feel the wetness of the water. This is where this is going. This is where it's going. And I hope that, Black people don't get caught up in what the simple-minded people in the entertainment industry are doing. Oh, I'm going to get this NFT or that NFT that isn't really nothing.
What is an NFT? I've heard that. What is NFT?
It's a non-fungible token, and it's built on the blockchain, and it's a unique thing that can't be divided or remade. But an NFT isn't just a picture like they're pushing it as. An NFT can have a whole virtual experience in it. You could have a whole learning course in an NFT.
Okay, well, I'll get with it. These are things I've been hearing, but I have no idea how that's really, really working. Now, we've got so many people that want to come on, but before we turn it over to them so they can talk to you and ask questions and you do readings, Sorcerer. Now, I'm sure that when you say sorcerer, people be, do.
Of course.
What is your definition of a sorcerer, and why are you a sorcerer? If that makes sense.
A sorcerer comes from the Latin word sorciere, which means he who controls fate.
Okay.
If you have knowledge, whether it's through tarot, astrology, extrasensory perception, precognition, clairvoyance, if you have knowledge of the future, you had a potential to change it. Now, destiny is what we choose for ourselves by free will, and fate is the consequences and rewards of those decisions.
From those decisions, that's right. That's exactly right.
If I know how to manipulate energy, because that's what everything is, whether it's prosperity, whether it's love, whether it's depression, whether it's hate, it's energy. If I can manipulate energy and I can foresee or look into your chart and foresee things, I had a potential to alter the energy and change the impact that your decision has on your life or the life of others.
You know, I think that's pretty amazing to be able to have that level of understanding and then the application to actually bring about the change. Can this be taught to people, so to speak? Or I think because
It
don't you have
definitely,
classes or something? I mean, there's a lot of things you have to offer, but we'll find that out in the course of the show.
it definitely can be learned. It definitely can be learned on your own. I give people a mantra a long time ago. I look within, I see within, I feel within, I heal within.
Can you repeat that one more time?
I look within, I see within, I feel within, I heal within. But most people are scared to look within themselves. They're too busy trying to live up to the expectations that their family, society, or what they feel their significant others or their peers have of them. They have no idea of who they are. That's why it was carved on the portals of the temple. Know thyself and you shall know all things.
That's exactly
Meaning,
right.
if you understand your own divinity, you don't have to come in here and go through the rituals to connect to the gods, because you know and understand that in the Book of the Dead or the Bible or whatever you want to go to, it says you're made in the image and likeness of God. There is no part of you that is not of the gods. So you don't need to go outside of yourself. But once you've been programmed or accept the programming that you're not a divine being, then you need to go through these rituals and dramatic ritual and initiations and ceremonies to remember or reconnect to your divinity.
Now, what about these so-called now the term they're using on the internet are influencers? Uh, you know, I have a philosophy on this show that, you know, with my view is you either think for yourself or somebody will do your thinking for you. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Where they
And
got us so busy looking over here that we don't look under our own backyard to find out our possible acres of diamonds or gold or whatever it is. So what are your thoughts about that? These things now they call influencers.
well, I posted something on Twitter and my Instagram the other day, and I explained to people,
That's what made me ask you.
the CIA, they use psychics to spy on other countries. You know, they use psychics to spy on other countries. They use, different spiritual beings, and even you go back to the history of Great Britain. When they beat the Spanish Armada, Queen Elizabeth had a sorcerer and an astrologer named John Dee.
Yes, John Dee, the famous John Dee. That's right, back in the day.
And he
Exactly.
summoned the Enochian spirits to fight for Queen Elizabeth during World War II. And the British government still have Aleister Crowley's files classified, and they won't declassify them.
He's known as sex magic.
Because Aleister Crowley came over here to the United States because the U.S. wasn't going to get involved with World War II. He came over here and did some Enochian magic and got the United States fighting on the British side. You know, you see Aleister Crowley, and they say that this is the peace sign, but this isn't the peace sign. This is the sign of Apophis, a pep, the destructive forces. And the Nazis were using the swastika, which is a symbol of the sun. Who is the enemy of Ra? Apophis, a pep, the forces of chaos. And I tell people all the time, symbols are living things.
Yes, they are.
Symbols
yes, they
are
are.
living things.
Very much.
And they'll have you doing all type of symbols and wearing all type of symbols, and you don't even know what they are. Most people don't even know the numbers we use are Arabic numbers.
Yes, they are.
You know, a triangle has a meaning. A upright triangle is the symbol for fire. The downward triangle is the symbol for water. You know, all these things are symbols. And then when you look at a logo, it's a symbol that personifies the energy that your company puts out.
I like how you put that, and that makes a lot of sense.
And that's why they use logos, because all this symbol becomes embedded in the minds of the masses. You know, if you look at the Facebook symbol, it's an F, but that F is similar to a Masonic symbol of Tubal Cain. The same thing with the Gmail thing, like a Masonic apron. But these don't have anything to do with apron. It has to do with people scientifically understanding the nature of symbols and how they can tweak a symbol a little bit and still tap into all that long length of power connected to it.
Very interesting, Dominic. Very interesting.
You know, the CIA calls astral projection remote viewing. These modern day influencers that you're talking about,
yeah,
like Tony Robbins and them saying, okay, if you believe this, raise your hand, you know, repeat this after me, or, you know, give yourself a pat on the back. They're anchoring things, neuralistic programming. That's just a scientific form of enchantment.
That's interesting. But yet when you call it enchantment and whatnot, they look at it as spooky or sorcery or stuff of that nature.
Right. But they do it and call it neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP.
And believe it, it has a tremendous psychological effect on the person on the other end of for which that is done. Too. And people are programmed all the time, like people that go to bed with their TV on all night. I personally wouldn't suggest it, because when you go into sleep, to me, the subconscious mind is open to everything that's coming out of that box.
Everything, you know. And a long time ago, I stopped listening to the radio in the car or in the house a long time ago, because they broadcasted in certain megahertz frequencies.
Yeah, I understand there's a frequency that they play in our music called 440, which is the most destructive of the hertz, in terms of making people do crazy things. Some of the crazy things that we see, shooting people, getting into the most silliest arguments, taking people's lives and stuff like that. But there are things that are frequency, because last Wednesday I had a sonic alchemist on that talked about the frequencies of how things affect us and the different levels and whatnot. But I noticed that most of the harmonious frequencies end in either a 3 or a 6 or a 9, where 440 is an 8. And I know you are 369 yourself.
Yeah. You know, the 8 is destructive energy.
Yes, it is. It is called, it in fact is the 8th house, or the death house, or an 8 metaphysically represents death or rest from labor in its symbolic form.
You know, they use that first to detach you from your divine understanding, feel your aura and stuff with that chaotic energy, and then it's easy to trigger you. It's easy to influence you. Because you feel disrupted within yourself. The same thing with drinking alcohol. If you break alcohol down and really understand the chemical composition of it, you are drinking the shit of yeast.
It's poison.
Yeast eat the sugar and excrete alcohol. You're eating another living being's waste. You're defiling your temple with that. And then you get drunk and you so-called black out. You didn't black out your vessel, your avatar, because that's all your body is, an avatar that your soul descends into to experience a human experience in order to grow and do things and help other people and things like that. You know, you poison your avatar, and your soul has to leave out of it. It's still attracted by a string, but once that's open and the vibrations are so low, other beings can get in there and take you for a ride.
Wow. Listen, let me flash some things up here for you. There's a person here named Y Hill that says, waiting patiently for you and your guest, dear brother Strayhorn. Peace to you, Dominic. This is from Y Hill. I would imagine you may know them.
I'm not sure if I know them personally.
Okay, well, here's the thing too. They put that they are born on December the 23rd, 1964 at 8:20 a.m. because a lot of people are going to be giving their birthdays, and then some people are going to be having questions. So can you take a couple of both? Because, you know, we got some time.
Yep, absolutely. Let me pull up the chart.
Okay, and while you're pulling up the chart, let me explain that this particular person, and I'll be right with you, Dominic. This particular person is a Capricorn 5 person, which means they're Earth sign with an air number, which means practical yet studious, questioning, reasoning, and they always seem to know somebody who knows somebody. So where the Capricorn side brings about the maturity part of the nature, older relationships, the 5, which is more youthful in its energies, will bring about the young ones. So although the year she's born in is 64, she could probably say she was born from anywhere from 1974 to 78, and very few people would probably give her problems at all. Dominic?
Give me one minute, brother. I got to type all
Okay,
the
good enough. And
information
when
in.
you do that, well, I'm going to put us both on. And by the way, her key numbers are the 5, 8, and 6. So since this year is a year of the 6, which is friendly to her, I would expect her to do very well. But if you say how so, well, when I took the month and day and added it to the year she wants to know about, in other words, December the 23rd to 2022, she's in a 5 personal year. So that means, I illustrate a person, you go from 1 to 9, right? So at the midway point is the 5. That's why they call it the pivotal cycle, where you make the changes and whatnot. So the fact that she's in a 5 personal year for 2022 and she's born on the 23rd is a 5, which makes that even more auspicious, which is an astrological term they may use or things of that nature. Dominic?
What city and state was she born in? Because in order to
She did not say, other than she's a Cap with a Virgo and a Cap. I guess her ascendant is probably in her rising sign is probably Capricorn, but she didn't say. She did give the month, the day, the year, and the time, but not the location.
okay, in order to do an accurate chart for you, you need to have your time, date, and place of birth,
Okay, good.
city and state. But just on your sun, moon, and rising sign, that's a whole lot of earth energy. Uh,
Yes, I
Virgo,
noticed that. Yeah.
Virgo moon, your moon sign has to do with, your soul's purpose. Why you incarnated to be here. Virgo is about organizing information, distributing information, and it's also the sign of Auset, the queen of the universe, Isis, the
Mm-hmm.
divine mother. Virgo is a nurturer, a caretaker. When you see those sheaves of wheat, that's a symbol of being able to nurture and provide and take care of others. But it also gives you an obsessive compulsive, you know, characteristic that makes you always want to please other people. It makes you real susceptible to the judgment of other people, and you have to realize that policing yourself for other people isn't what's going to get you to the top with your Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
That makes sense.
the Capricorn in you, the sun sign is like how you consciously project your soul's energy, and the rising sign is how the world perceives that energy. So as the world perceives a Capricorn, you may be perceived as someone who isn't very emotionally attached or isn't very nurturing, but your Virgo moon says you're a divine nurturer and it's your purpose to nurture. But sometimes your Capricorn rising and sun will lead you to forget that you're striving to get to a position so you can nurture. The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer.
Yes.
So in order for you to be a good leader, you must be a good nurturer. You must have compassion for others.
All righty. We got another person here, Sweet Stamps. It says, yes, Dominic, don't play. Don't come with the mumbo jumbo BS, as he would say. LOL. That's why I told people, if they don't want to stand the heat, they should not come in your kitchen. Because the one thing about it, for those that have watched this on IG or Instagram, Dominic369, as you know, he is a man of truth. He speaks it, and he speaks it in a way and in a language that if y'all don't get it this way, I don't know how you're gonna get it. That's just how he rolls. Okay, so I would say that that's interesting. Let's see. Okay, this is from Jackie Fillmore. She says, "Good evening to both of us. Blessings and abundance, love, peace, and harmony." Oh, and she is from Temple Hills. That's it. Now, this person, Dominic, did not give a time nor location
Oh,
of birth. Can you see it?
oh, I didn't see Miss Jackie's, but hey, Miss Jackie, hi Joanne. I see your
Hold on. Let me put Miss Jackie up there for you. Okay. Good evening, Lloyd and Dominic. Blessings and abundance and love.
How
Out
you
of
doing,
Temple
Miss
Hill,
Jackie?
Maryland. Queen Jackie, that's what she calls herself. Okay.
How you doing, Queen Jackie?
Yeah, yeah. So this is Joanna or Joanne, excuse me. She's December the 22nd. It's interesting. We're picking up on Capricorns, and right now the moon is in the earth sign of Taurus, and we're in the sun sign of Capricorn anyway. So both the earth and the moon the sun and the moon at this second are both in earth signs.
Right.
So do you now what have you ever worked with a person that wasn't sure of their zodiac sign to help? I forgot there's a technique in astrology that helps if a person don't know when they're born.
Chart
There's a
rectification.
technique. What technique is that, Dominic?
That is called chart rectification.
That's it.
And
That's it. Rectification.
we
That's
go
it.
through your chart, and you give me the time and the day you were born and the year and the city and the state. And what I do is I ask you for a few significant events in your life. Maybe when your father passed away, or your mother passed away, or you got married, or when you went off to college, or you had your first kid, or if you got in a car accident, any significant event, you can start reverse engineering the astrological chart. Because
Okay.
those events are usually, an accident is usually triggered by a Uranus aspect to your first house cusp, or the ruler of your first house. A major surgery is usually connected to a Mars in the eighth house, or the eighth house ruler being afflicted by Mars, or
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
eighth house ruler being afflicted by Mars. It's a lot of ways to rectify the chart, and it takes a little bit of time, but it definitely get you there within seconds. Within seconds of the birth. Absolutely.
That's
Astrology
interesting.
is a profound science, man. It's a
Now,
profound science, and they intentionally water it down so you won't be able to, find the value. You won't value it because
well,
if
to me, of all of the branches, astrology is a never-ending field of study. There's so much. I mean, each degree has a definition from 0 to 30. I mean, I've got books in my collection that's got all kinds of information astrologically. People just know their sign, but that's nothing compared to how further and deep down the rabbit hole this thing goes, man. I don't think people really, really have a clue. Now, this is Denisha Hanson. She did not give her time, but she's born 2/22/85. She says her moon is in Aries. She's a Sagittarius rising, so her
Aquarius.
sun is in Pisces, her moon is in Aries, and her Sagittarius is in rising. What would that give you a clue to, perhaps, if that makes
Well,
sense?
again, the rising sign tells us how we project our soul's energy to the world, how the world interprets our projection of our energy with our sun sign. Now,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what degree her sun is at, that would square her rising sign, because Pisces is square Sagittarius. Now,
Yeah.
a square tells us that you're going to be able to go in this direction, but you're only going to be able to go for so far, and then you need to change directions. Sagittarius rising, it makes you desire to learn. It makes people see you as a knowledgeable person, a fun person, but also it makes people see you as a person who's quick at the mouth and doesn't have consideration of how the things that you say can affect them, even if it's the truth. You can say things that are hurtful to other people if you don't watch your mouth. And Sagittarius, and I'm a Sagittarius myself with an Aries moon. Aries,
Well,
Aries,
I know you don't play. That's all I can say, brother. What they get is what they see, and you keep it real. Period. Okay, you got my respect, brother. All righty.
The Aries moon, it gives you the drive you need to make it on your own. You usually don't have the nurturing that you need from your mother as a child.
Interesting.
sometimes isolated from your siblings, but that gives you the ability to strive through adversity. And with a Pisces sun, you know, they might take that as a victim and use that as an excuse to fall into a substance abuse. But it's really just telling you, Pisces sun is telling you, the sun is about your consciousness. You're aware of your spirituality. You're aware of other beings and other realms, but sometimes you might escape through substance abuse and like to be the victim instead of being that Aries moon that tells you got to track out here as a warrior, big general. Big general, and lead the way from other people and teach them based on your own suffering.
It's so amazing how these configurations can unlock and bring people to a whole nother level of understanding of themselves and their power. And in fact, speaking of power, this one, Sweet Stamp, says, how to tap into the power. I hear it, but I can't hear it on a cellular level. Remember how you said the 4 things? I hear it, I believe it, or whatever. Well, what do you think this person is trying to say to you, Dominic?
She's trying to say that she gets in her, he or she is saying that they get in their own way, because once you declare that you can't do something, you're never going to fucking do it.
Okay. I understand
that. Put that curse on yourself. You've allowed those self-limiting beliefs to interfere with your ability to tap into your power because you don't believe you can. If you want to tap into your power, you have to practice some exercises that familiarize you with your energy. There's an energy awareness exercise on my YouTube channel. I think it's called, tap into your psychic power in 60 seconds. All you have to do is, and for everybody listening, I want you to try this, sit still. And with your mind, feel your stomach.
That's interesting.
With
Sit
your mind,
and with your mind, mentally feel your stomach?
Yeah, feel your stomach with your mind. Put your mind's attention on your stomach. And you'll be able to feel, whether you ate the gastric juices rumbling around or whatever, you'll be able to feel that. And then from your stomach, I want you to start feeling your skin with your mind, your skin over your whole body. And you'll start to be aware of all your skin. Once you're aware of your skin, I want you to feel a layer about 3 inches outside of your skin. And you're going to start to feel the closest layer of your aura around you.
That's interesting, Dominic.
And once you feel your aura around you, I want you, with your awareness, to feel the energy of what you're sitting on. And differentiate that energy with your awareness, the energy of your aura and the energy of the chair or couch or whatever you're sitting on. And then feel the energy of your vehicle or your room, because I know some people are in their car, because I feel it. Feel the energy of the room that you're in, and differentiate that energy from the energy within you and the energy of your aura.
You know what? We are 45 minutes into this, and it's amazing how things go. But I want to just take a break a moment just so we can get into details of how people can reach you. As you see at the bottom, my guest, Dominec Holmes, Dominec Holmes. He is an astrologer, spiritual advisor, healer, sorcerer, and he's a whole lot more too. So he's just been nice giving up 4 titles, but this brother's a whole lot more. His site is redclawconjure.com. His IG is Dominec369. His Cash App is $redclawconjure369. And he has a YouTube channel. Now, you said this YouTube channel is Dominec369 Presents Occultism Unleashed. You said, I think that was like a free service or something you provide?
Yeah, I want people to learn. You can't change the vibration of the world hoarding all the knowledge, and you can't grow your knowledge if you don't put nothing out of your cup.
That makes sense. That makes sense, Dominic.
The whole goal is to give people a concise understanding. I got a series on there on the tarot. It goes into the history of the tarot, how it works. I talk about astrology charts all the time, national, international charts, people's personal charts.
Yeah, because you talk about it on your Instagram. And
then I have a series on there on planetary magic, and a series on there on elemental magic, And I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, it's no mumbo jumbo spookiness.
Well, I tell you,
It's
all they got to do
scientific.
is keep up. They know how you roll. What about newbies that are having an interest in this field of astrology and would like to be taught by an expert like you? Do you offer that service, or is that part of your channel, or
That's
whatever
part of
the
the
case
free.
is? How do you do that?
That's part of the free stuff on the channel. I really don't have time for teaching people individually, but there's a spiritual resource page on my website, which is free to access. Go on there. I got recommended books that don't give you a bunch of unnecessary bull crap that you don't need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, whether it's on astrology, whether it's on tarot, whether it's on numerology, your all three of your books are on there. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
they're no nonsense and to the point, and will allow anybody from beginner to experienced user to gain some understanding of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
So they can get this off of your YouTube channel, Dominic369 presents Occultism Unleashed. And so
absolutely.
when they go to your website, because let me say this, you offer free services, but you also have a family, okay? Do you offer any paid services that people want you to perform little procedures or rituals or spells or whatever the case is, brother? Can we keep it real up in here, okay?
You already know, Lloyd. And if people follow me on Instagram, they know I have clients from every walk of life, from
That I
all over
know.
the world,
Yeah.
all over the world. From the streets to the Senate seats. Believe that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know and people come to me for healing work, love work, prosperity work, get obstacles out of the way, help them get in the job they want to get into. But I like to focus on the healing more than anything else, and I like to do the astrology readings more
Well,
than
I've
anything
seen
else.
some of your testimonials come in of people bearing witness about what you do. That I bear witness on that. All they got to do is just follow you on Instagram. So so for people, so we get this straight, people. This man does this out of a love of what he does. He has a family, okay? There is sometimes I'll offer things for free, like I have a free monthly newsletter, but then we all have to figure out how we're going to make a living in a way that is honest and yet beneficial to ourselves because we are trying to benefit humanity. So what I'm saying is, yes, there are services that this man, my special guest Dominic Holmes, offers for free, which you can go right to his YouTube channel, Dominic369 presents Occultism Unleashed. However, because this man has a family and they don't want to hear about what a good job he did when he goes to buy food for his kids or all this stuff. Nah, man, he has to be paid. So his fees are reasonable. You do get what you pay for. Okay. So if you're going to come to this man thinking you're going to nickel and dime the brother, I'm just telling you, don't insult yourself. Don't do that to him. If you come to him and you want services of that kind of level, he has fees that some might feel are, but you got to then feel what you're worth. Would I be correct, Dominic?
Right, and they need to really understand. I don't look for clients. I'm not arguing about my prices. They could be a lot higher,
Yes, they could.
and you get results. And that's plain and simple. You're gonna get what you pay for. I would rather you go on YouTube. I would rather you go on YouTube and learn. There's videos on there to make prosperity oil. There's videos on there to do elemental magic, whether you in the shower or cooking on the
Wow.
stove. All these are opportunities for you to manifest on your own behalf. I would rather you go learn. But if I have to do your work for you, you are going to pay me.
That makes all the sense in the world to me, okay? Because we got this notion we deal with each other, lend me, give me, can you spare, is it free? And in fact, here's one witness here. She said, you got to do, you do get results. And that's what she said. And then she said in another thing, she got results. These are testimonials. This isn't something Dominec is making up. These are people that we come in, and here's saying, this one is personally for you, I guess. Dominec, this is Dre. Keep going, man. I love you. Okay. So one of your partners, okay?
Thank you, brother.
So, but I think this is nice. And then this says here exactly what you told me on Insta, brother Dom. Okay. So evidently, you know, General Rugger, I guess that's the name. And here, this person says, continue blessings to you, Dominec, for sharing your divine gifts with us. And I think this is great. This is really, really great. And I'm gonna show you something. I gotta put something on blast a second. Hold on. Let me see. Where do I go to? Right here. And this was my first meeting with Dom in Detroit. I went to listen. The brother treated me with such royalty, man. He invited me to his home there in the city of Detroit. Okay, I ain't gonna give you his address because we ain't gonna bug the brother. It ain't about that kind of party. All righty, but the point is that I was made to feel so comfortable, so at home, and blessed to meet his family. But this was taken on April the 24th of 6. Dominec is a 6. April the 24th of 2019. So that was a nice experience. And we've been friends ever since, although we don't stay in touch on a regular basis like family. But I've been wanting to have you on this show so people could get a taste of what you do, what you offer people, how you get people going. And again, my whole thing was doing your whole act of kindness during all of 2020, reaching out to all first responders if they had questions, if they were under stress, to reach out to you. Goodness knows how many people may have reached out to you, Dominec. But I know that you didn't turn anyone down, and you made yourself known that you were available for them. But then again, you're born on the 15th, and 6 is about the number of service to the community, to the greater community at large, be it the nation, the world, and stuff like that. And listen, I'm telling you to your face, you do it well. You just don't play. But hey, you ain't got no time to play with the work you got to do.
It's important, man. And like when this thing first hit, I tried to tell people how ugly it was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So it was important, you know, for the people that we're working to help people, to make sure people had a sense of normalcy, whether it was they were getting their packages delivered from Amazon or whatever, to stop a lot of chaos from ensuing. You know, I grow lemons, everything in my house.
I've seen you. Yeah.
You know, and I told people, you know, this thing is going to get ugly. They're going to lie to you about it. You need to make sure that you're efficient. I begged and pleaded with several rappers. Look, get with the black farmers. Once this stuff gets to rolling, it's going to increase inflation and it's going to be hard for our people to live.
I seen your announcements on Instagram, so I know this is true. And this ain't something you just said lately. This is something you've been on to get these people, especially in the entertainment business or entertainment world, sports or things of that nature, so they could have a sense of really, really making a contribution. Here's what we're going to change up a second, because this person here, Raymond L., he says, respect family. I'm asking on behalf of my mom for her birthday, which is May the 2nd of 1958 at 5:55 a.m. Do you sense her moving into her own place this month? She's been stressed about finding a place before February the 6th. Now, do you want to do that, or you want me to handle this first? How you want me to do it, buddy?
You can get on top of that one, because I would have to do a whole different type of chart.
Okay, good.
I'm about to pull it up on my computer.
Okay, she didn't give the location other than 5:55 a.m. That means that her son is sitting in the first house. Would I be correct, Dominec? Her son would be in the first house?
It all depends on where she was born at.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
rising
because
sign is
she's so close to being born at 6 a.m., which is the time on the eastern horizon where the ascendant is. So, but anyway, but that's where her sun is. Her sun is right there in the ascendant. But anyway, she is a this year for her. Let me switch up while he's focusing on this. This year for her, Raymond. Uh, your mom is a Taurus. This year favors Tauruses. This year favors Librans, and it favors anybody born on the 6th, the 15th, like Dominic, or the 24th of any month. The fact that she is in a full personal year. Now, what is interesting is this. Um, there is a phenomenon taking place, and when we get back to Dominec, I'm going to ask them. There is a Mercury retrograde about to take place this weekend, okay, on the 14th through February the 3rd. This is 3 days before this deadline of February the 6th. And even then, and for those professional astrologers like Dominic and Kalia and others, they know that there is a shadow effect that will spill over. The only blessing is she will be in a 6 personal month for February. In other words, she's in a 4 personal year. 4 plus the second calendar month, which is February, equals 6, which is friendly to her sign. Her numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 6. So that tells me she should try to negotiate her deals on Mondays and Fridays. Okay. And especially if she can align it where one of her numbers are 2, 6, or 7 is aligning up with a Monday. Like let's say it's Monday the 7th. So that will be a triple star day for her, or double star day because it's her number and her day. And then that Friday would be the 11th, when then one is 2. So that would help her in that way too. But your mother's numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 6. And it indicates she likes to collect things, or she finds it hard to or challenging to throw things away. So for some of you, you might consider your mom having a lot of clutter, but for your mom, it represents memories. So in your case, Raymond, your mother probably got the first tooth that fell out your mouth somewhere in the sock drawer, for example. Okay, it'd be like that. But anyway, let's switch over to Dominic and see what he comes up with.
well, there's more than one type of astrology chart, and what the chart that I did is called a Hooray chart. That's the chart that you use when you're doing a question for somebody, answering a question.
In
So
that moment, right?
exactly. So at
Yeah,
7:56,
That's cool. That's cool, Dominic. Go
at
ahead.
7:56, you ask this question. There's Leo rising on the chart. The question is ruled by the fourth house because it's about a home. Now the sun is in Capricorn, and the ruler of Scorpio, which is on the fourth house cusp, Pluto is in Capricorn. They come into conjunction in 4 days. So she may find a place that she likes in 4 days, and I would encourage her to find somewhere in an apartment building that has an upstairs, maybe in a neighborhood that's more senior. If it would be good because Capricorn rules senior citizens. The ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, which rules time and age. You know, it's more quiet, more stable. A senior living place where young people and a bunch of chaos and foolishness isn't going to be. The Mercury retrograde is in the 6th house, which rules landlords and rentals. You know, but Pluto is also in that house, and Saturn is also in that house too. I would advise you not to look online at this time because Mercury retrograde in Aquarius can bring online scams and things like that. If she finds a place, again, look for apartment complex, upper floors. You know, if your mom's elderly, make sure it has elevators and things like that. But make sure you go in person and you see people in person and research what you're doing, and try not to finalize any paperwork till after the 4th when Mercury goes direct.
Dominic, that's excellent, buddy. That's excellent. Now, here's what's interesting. Normally, there are 3 retrogrades per year. This year, there are 4 of them. And they're all under Earth signs, from Capricorn to Taurus to Virgo back to Capricorn again. I don't know what to say.
Well, the Earth signs represent the physical reality.
Okay.
If you're going retrograde, you're going back.
Yes.
Review. You know, Capricorn has to do with, leadership, you know, traditional values, government control. Taurus has to do with finances and things like that. And again, I spoke on Pluto being in Capricorn. Over the next few years, it's going to go into Aquarius, retrograde, back into Capricorn, and then, you know, 2024, shoot straight out in Aquarius for the long run.
Well, Pluto is a transitional planet, but go ahead. Yeah.
It's important. It's important for people to understand. And this isn't financial advice. This is reality.
And can you repeat just that part again? I think I overtalked you, and I want to make sure,
you know,
that people do not miss the message of what you just said.
This isn't financial advice. This is reality. You really need to learn about cryptocurrency and put some money there, because we're moving into the digital era, whether they like it or not. Pluto demands change. It demands change. And because they failed to live up to the potential of Pluto and Capricorn, where this nation was started, it was started in Pluto and Capricorn. And that reflects the callous and lack of compassion in the United States and with the government.
That's
Pluto in Aquarius is telling you, you better get on some altruism. You better get on some humanitarian stuff, or I'm going to crush you. And you see the United States is continuing with their exploitive nature, got people working in a pandemic, letting people go to work disinfected, even doctors. Because the country's financial basis is based on the amount of money they can extract from the citizens in taxes. If people aren't working, teachers aren't in school, kids aren't in school, their parents aren't working, they're not generating tax revenue. And they can't keep that $20 trillion GDP lie going.
Okay.
You're going to see Pluto put this country in its place. I promise you that. And if you're dependent on the dollar and their stock market, you're going to be in trouble. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Well, let me say this. I've been knowing you since 2019, and I've saw some things that were forecasted from the church bombings that were going on around the country. You put that out there, and almost about a day or two later, it was almost like you put your mouth on it. So I know you know your stuff, which is why you on here to do this. You know what I'm saying? So this is good. We're a little over an hour. Can you take one or two more, if that's all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dominec.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me see what's in the comment section. Okay, respect family. Okay, now this is a person that was very specific, okay? She says, okay, here we go. Can you hold on? Let me take the banner off a second. Okay. Okay, did that. Nope. Okay, good. Now let me do this one. Where is this? Come on, lady. Dominic, my computer just cut out on me.
I figured that.
I forgot. And of all the things I was checking, man, I was like...
No problem.
Now it's starting back up. I don't know whether it actually started. You still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Okay, good. I will be with you in just a second.
Yep,
I'm
not going nowhere.
This is crazy.
I seen you trying to get the charger in there.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Dominic, this is fun, man. This is like, thank you. Now it's loading up. And I meant to check my power source before I start. That's so amazing.
Well, we're in the shadow of retrograde. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Now it's moving slow because I wanted to move fast. Okay. Yeah, but this was all a part, I guess, of Mercury retrograde and all that other stuff. It goes with it. Let's see. Because, let me see. Are we open? Come on. On computer.
If you guys are still on, Lloyd's getting his computer back powered up.
Good.
Don't panic. Don't panic. We still in the building.
Okay, good. Your computer was restarted. Okay. Let me go back to... let me see. Where I can... It started all over again. I'm not sure whether I can... Hold on. Let me see something.
Okay, I'm gonna stay on here.
Work. Let me see something.
Because the clock is still running, saying it's live.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. So that means people hear me going through this stuff. So anyway, Dominic Holmes into the studio. Okay.
Thank you for your patience, everybody.
Okay. Enter it. Dominic, my man. Thank you for saving the day, buddy. Thank you.
All right. We back in there like swimwear.
So let me tell you what happened, folks, that want to know what went on. All of a sudden, my screen went black because I checked everything except my power on my computer. So it broke down on the best part, but there's a lot of people that happened. I'm going to just take one more. Let me see. This is a couple. Okay, it's Rashad Carter, and he's born on August 19th, 86 in Los Angeles at 9:32 a.m. And his wife, Ashley, is a Virgo, September 17th, 86 in Los Angeles, also at 12:26 a.m. So do you want me to handle that first a bit?
Yeah, you can get into it first.
Okay, and you see on the screen their birthdays and where they were born, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. All righty, Rashad, listen. You are a Leo 1 person, which means you're a fire sign with a fire number, which means you don't play. 5 represents energy, passion, get up and go, determination, having a proactive mindset, a mind of self-determination. If you have been in a codependent relationship, that means at some point in time, life will force you to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet and make decisions. Since Leos don't take orders well, and number 1s don't take orders well, and you happen to be a combination of both because the number 1 rules the sign of Leo, which rules the sun, which rules both Leo and the number 1. I would say you would have made an excellent lawyer, doctor, scientist, entrepreneur, business owner, CEO, CFO, whatever the case. You probably wear glasses too. Your wife is just the opposite of you. She's an earth sign with an earth number. So that means that's the pragmatist in the house. So when you want to burn down things, and I don't mean literally burn down things, but when fire signs get started and they get fired up, everybody better get out the way. Well, she will bring some common sense to the relationship, like, honey, you need to slow it down a second. In fact, you might misinterpret that she's trying to smother, because if you can't get water to smother fire, you get earth, which is the next best thing. So you might feel she's trying to smother your assertiveness or aggressiveness, but her birthday is designed to protect you by being practical, being commonsensical, by keeping it real. Because number one's like the character in the movie, they'll run down the hall and just jump out the window. Well, she ain't going to do that. She might run down the hall, but she's going to look. So this is what will make the difference between the two. Your lucky numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. Her numbers are the 8, 6, and 5. So since y'all don't have numbers in common per se, then you need to carry out all your plans, Rashad, on a Sunday and a Tuesday, more than anything, and in a minor way a Thursday, where she needs to carry out her plans on a Saturday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. So if you look at it, actually y'all can toss the ball to each other. You know what I'm saying? So you got Sunday, she's got Wednesday, you got Thursday, you got Sunday and Tuesday, then she's got Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you know how to act as teams in that sense, you should do very well. Dominic, you ready, buddy?
Almost.
Okay, good enough. By the way, this particular year, Richard, you're in a 6 personal year, so that means you got to make some adjustments, buddy. Some of them may be beyond your control or that you may not like, but they're going to be adjustments that affect your personal life, that affect your health, that affect your business, and whatever the case is. But you should go back to school. As for Ashley, she is in a she's in a, did I do that right? Yes, she is. She would be 8, 6. She's in a 5 personal year. So that means she's at a turning point for herself. That means she's ready to make a pivot move. And since 6 is one of her numbers, since this is 2022 is a 6, 5 is one of her numbers. That means she is ready to make some major changes in some way, shape, or form that will be very noticeable around the month of May, which is one of her months, which is one of your challenging months. Okay. So with that being the case, I'm going to switch it over to Dominic to see what he comes up with. And
I'm getting this information in right now.
Okay, good, good. So let me say this. You know, it's very interesting, Dominic, because people and definitely focus, because until I got into this, I'm trying to figure out, well, why that sign don't go, this sign not supposed to go with that sign. This is a fire sign, that's an earth sign, fire and earth don't go. But there are always exceptions to the rule. For example, his name may be an earth number, and his wife's name may be a fire number, which offsets those kinds of things. Okay. And so there's a lot to this, but this is why it is good for the brother, Rashad, to go, he and his wife go to a professional. Now, the one thing I like about it is this: they've got all the numerical information. He has his month, his day, his year, his time, and location of birth. Ideally, to help any astrologer, if you can come with those 5 pieces of information. Now, I like the technique that Dominic did earlier, where he did the chart based upon the time the question was given to him and make it. So, Dominic, what's your assessment of this couple as we go into the home stretch?
Well, they got his Jupiter. His Jupiter is retrograde, and that's hitting on her moon. This is what you call synastry in the chart, where you look at 2 charts and see what planets are connecting to different areas of the chart. They both help each other thrive, but his Mars assertion is on her 10th house of career, but it's in her 9th house, but it's conjunct her midheaven. He helps her learn more about her spiritual nature and understand spirituality and different truths and higher education in practical ways by the way that he asserts himself. His Saturn and her Saturn are conjunct in Sagittarius in the 8th house. This tells me that they have a karmic relationship, and both of them have some mediumistic ability.
Interesting.
His Sun is in her 5th house, and that 5th house Sun in Leo, that like he has Leo, and it's in her 5th house of romance and entertainment and things like that, which is usually where you find your partner at when you're first starting to date. And he really keeps things young and fresh for her. And it's always like they're on a new date, and he understands her because the 5th house is how you market and promote yourself. You know, it's how you market and promote yourself, and it's what you like to do for fun. And his sun and Mercury are in her house of fun and recreation and romance. He gives her the awareness that she would like to have kids and like to build a family and things like that. He really impacts and highlights that area of her life. And Venus, his Venus, is conjunct her vertex in the sixth house. The sixth house is the house of service. You know, he's a caretaker and a nurturer to her.
Wow, brother, that is so deep. I want to put up your where people can reach you, and as you see, so I'm gonna, before we go, this is Dominec Holmes. He's an astrologer, spiritual advisor, healer, sorcerer, and much more, and a great dad and a great husband too. So we ain't put that up in there, but anyway, his site is redconjure.com. His Instagram is Dominec369. His Cash App is $. And please, you know how I feel about the Cash App portion, because Dominec has actually, like many of the people that have been on my show, we have decided to step out here on faith and do this to help humanity. And in fact, as I told you back in 2020, in January, February, March, when they shut down the country, Dominec made himself available practically the entire year for anybody who was a first responder to make themselves available with no charge. Would I be correct with that, Dominec?
Yeah. Whether you were a whether you were a sanitation worker, Amazon worker, a nurse, a doctor, you know.
That's right. So that right there endeared me to you, man. You got to be strong to give. You know, people talk about, you know what I'm saying, takers, anybody can take, but to give and give selflessly as you did, that I think is amazing, man. And that you got my love and respect on that one, brother. Because that's I can tell you kind of old school, as they would call it, in that way. But what I want to do, Dominec, I want you to hold on a second. Don't go nowhere. I just want to make announcements about next week's show. Let's see. Did I do this right? I think I did. Okay, I think, yes, I got everybody. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to let you know that this coming Monday, okay, I'm going to have this beautiful lady on. Her name is Audrey Rumbers. And it's interesting because Dominec has spoke early at the top of the interview about quantum physics. Well, this lady's specialty is quantum physics. That's Audrey Rumbers, that will be on this particular Monday of the 17th. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to have this beautiful lady, Rose Bonner, who's going to talk about hair. You know, hair is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And as a result of it, she's going to talk to you about unlocking the secrets for relaxers, perms, excuse me, ladies, perms and colors, okay? So that should be very interesting, since women are always going to these stores to get their nails done, their hair done. This way you get an understanding of that. That will be on there. And then I have one more person. Oh, by the way, my online course, whoops, where you go? There you go. My online course is now on sale, okay? And as you see, my first one, Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book for Beginners, that's considered a bestseller. And my newest one, The Next Step in Numerology, is the highest rated. And I have to thank Jackie Levine, who put this together for me. I mean, I'm just been very blessed. I'm telling you, Jackie Levine, that's my girl too. All right. So I'm just want to thank her, because of her, she made this possible. I now have over 3,000 students in 71 countries in 22 or 23 languages. I mean, it was just mind blowing to me. And I got to, before I sign off, is I'm going to play the theme music. The theme music you heard was from my guest last Wednesday, Nikki Monty, the Sonic Alchemist. She's the one that created the theme and did the overlay for my new music. So I just want to thank her personally. And now I need to get back to my good buddy. Hold on. I think I'm doing pretty good today with all this. Okay, good. All right, Dominec. Hold, let me see. Okay. Here we go. Dominic, I want to
Yes, sir.
thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. This is great. This is great. So before we leave, I want to make sure everybody gets this straight. Okay, this is Dominic's here. So take a screenshot of whatever the case is, spiritual advisor, healer, sorcerer, Red Claw, conjurer.com. Go there. His IG, I follow him on IG. He's on Facebook too, but I follow him on IG. His Cash App, $ Red Claw Conjure 369 for his family. Okay. And his YouTube channel is Dominec 369 Presents Occultism Unleashed, which is absolutely free. He does have paid services now. Everything ain't free up in here. The man can't run a household on freebies. Okay. So let's be very, very clear how we rolling with this. Yes, those things that he is offering for free, accept it in the spirit for which it is given. But at the same time, don't ask for something of him and don't expect to pay, thinking he should do that. That's not nice. That's not a karmic law. I don't think so. All right. Brother Dominic, I'll stop running my mouth, man. This was fun.
Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate everybody that showed up, man.
Brother,
And
you had a whole bunch of people that showed up, okay?
I really, really can't stress it enough, man. I prefer that you go to the YouTube channel and learn. Because even though my prices are up here for some people, if you're learning and you're in the community and you know that you had the ability to help people, you can provide services for people at that level of service that's affordable for them.
True.
And as you grow in your power, in your knowledge, then you increase your services, your prices. But learn, work for yourself, work for your family members, and help increase the vibration around the earth, because that's how we really change stuff, by changing the frequency. It happens on a spiritual level first. And if you really want to learn in depth about what I do, my spiritual teacher, Monica Bay, that's real Monica Bay on Instagram. Like she caught me when I was fresh out of prison, man.
Really?
And she was like, look, you really need to make sure you're on the right track and stuff, because you got a lot of spiritual power and you're meant to do some powerful stuff.
Well, God bless her. I wonder if you gotta have her on too.
She called me on the phone while I was on the way to take some weed somewhere. A lot of weed.
Understood.
And look, she was like, I thought I told you people need you. You're not supposed to be. I ain't looked back since. That was in 2012, 2013, man. I ain't looked back since. She teaches in-depth classes at mysticuniversity.net.
What is her site again so people can check her out?
mysticuniversity.net. If you go to my YouTube channel, the links are in the description on all my videos.
And I would like to get in touch with her in the future so she can be on, because it's nice to meet somebody who inspired you, because you're great as far as I'm concerned. That's how we roll with this. So anyway, Dominic, thank you very, very much, man. God bless you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over here a second. I'm going to go to where am I going to go? Here with is the brand, okay, and I'm going to play the theme music with Nikki Monty. This is her here, okay. She's the one that wrote the theme, and I ain't gonna play it in the evening also, but I just want y'all to hear it again because I appreciate. She sent me 4 tracks. This was the first one I heard, and this is the one that I like.